Hey, it's Pete the King here with a YouTube video that I'm going to use to basically do a more in-depth study of the HP or HGHB attacks uh, to help myself and my clanmates in understanding kind of what to do and what not to do. Um, the first thing I think to understand is that um, we're going to go over um, the basic elements of an attack, and then so I'm going to use an attack from the last war where I used Pekkas, um, and we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between Pekkas and Giants, and because I used both in the last war, and I'll tell you the strengths and the weaknesses of those, I think, and then we will go over sort of how you um, go through the attack and sort of manage the attack while it's going on, because that's sort of an important thing. There's some technique to what you're doing while the raid is going on, and it's important to understand that. So let's look here at this attack. So let's just stop and just talk about scouting for a second, and let's first talk about how we scout a base and figure out where to attack. With this base, what we're looking for is you want to imagine the path through which the boulders and the queen are going to walk. In this kind of a base, you want, if it's a rectangular shaped base, you want your bowlers and giants or Pekkas walking through the long side of the base, but definitely attack. I would say attack on a squared up side, which means don't go in. I would say going in diagonally. I have had mixed luck with that. The other thing you want to look for is you want to take out the queen as soon as possible. You want to look for where the air sweepers are pointing away. So, for instance, here I would not want to attack from this side because the air sweeper is pointing into the and what that would do is basically slow down the healers. And I've learned from experience that if your healers are slowed down by an air sweeper, you're in deep trouble. The other thing is you want to make sure that an air defense is at least deeply embedded enough in the base when you're going in that you're not going to be facing one directly. And I would say the third thing is you want to account for where the clan castle troops are. In this case here, this base had a dead space that you will see. I found a dead space where I was able to pre-trigger the clan castle while my troops were setting up, and that allowed me to attack from this side because the queen was closer here, and the queen was closer, and I just liked the angle. And the other thing that I really liked here about why I attacked from what appears to be the southeast side of the base is that I like the way in which the other thing you're looking for in scouting is how you can use funneling and how you can establish the funnel. So here, what you'll see is there are no air targeting defenses that are covering the immediate perimeter of these, where you can hit these basically if you send in which I did. I believe I sent in a baby dragon here. I was able to take out these three defenses, these three trash buildings with a baby dragon with nothing targeting it. Here, I knew that I was going to have an archer tower, so I had to keep that in mind. But here, it looked like basically no air defenses were covering the trash buildings, and it looked as though baby dragons were going to be able to clear. The other thing to keep in mind is that when you're using Pekkas, you have to be extra careful to clear all the trash buildings because Pekkas will not, unlike giants, Pekkas will not walk to the wall. If I'm using giants here, I have more time to do funneling because I need because the giants are going to walk directly to this archer tower if I drop the giants here. Versus if I had not done, I knew that in this raid I was going to have to drop baby dragons first and manage some of these buildings because otherwise the Pekkas are going to go for a walk either this way or this way. So that's why it was extra important with using Pekkas to get rid of the trash buildings first. Because otherwise, if you're using giants, you have the benefit of you have the extra time to do the funneling while the giants are on the ground. you have to do the funneling before you drop the bowlers. But in this case here, Pekkas work because I could set up the funnel and come in with the Pekkas and the bowlers and the healers and my kill squad. And I could trigger the clan castle with a dead space, which I guess you can't see it here, but it's there. There's a dead space in that base that that I was able to find, and you'll see me trigger that. So scouting the base is important. Knowing this is a base that also had enough. There was enough dead space in this base that it looked as though HG or HPHB would work. It was a little on the dense side, but I think Pekkas work better when there is more dense DPS. If the DPS is more spread out, then Giants are an option. Although I'm starting to lean towards Pekkas. It's really a question of the trade-off between the funneling, where you get better funneling with Giants versus with Pekkas. Pekkas are basically indestructible when they've got a healer on them. So let's see how I start off the attack. So I start out by dropping Baby Dragon 1, Baby Dragon 2, and I'm clearing. I have some extra funneling troops that I put down. I think I drop a minion there because I want to get that building clear. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good because they're just focused on those builders' huts, and there's at least 2 trash buildings. So I put down the healers, my king and the queen, and then I pre-trigger. You'll see I dropped a barb in a dead space, and I pre-triggered the giant. I'm sorry, pre-triggered the CC, and I put the rage down. Now this is important. The rage spell is the most. The first rage spell that you deploy is the most important. I think one of the most important parts of getting the attack right is you basically you put your rage down spell down first. You make sure the rage spell covers both the healers and the heroes and the bowlers and the Pekkas. Now everybody got some of this heal spell. They walked through it, but it was important for me to drop it back. Maybe I could have dropped the heal spell forward a little bit, but it was important that the healers were caught for this first spell. The healers had to be in the rage spell to keep the troops alive. Immediately after dropping the rage spell, I dropped the poison spells. And at this point, because everybody's going into this compartment, I'm immediately starting to watch where the troops are headed, and I'm starting to watch where I can start dropping hogs as what I would call my supporting cast. So basically, the hogs help to direct the keep the bowlers in the middle of the base by looking at what defenses are going to start targeting the troops. So it's going pretty well here at this point. I can see. At this point, I'm watching to see which direction people are going in. And I think I'm dropping up. I drop my second rage, and I decide I commit to the left side. Basically, as soon as you see defenses, outer point defenses targeting your troops. I didn't do a great job, by the way, but you can see here again, I put in a couple hogs on that cannon because the cannon's like doing something else. The cannon's shooting at my kill squad. You're dropping the hogs to create the to help funnel the troops through the base, so you can see there. And then I save. I prefer 3 rage and 1 heal. I put my rage on my heal there because I know it's a double giant bomb space, and there were bombs there. Honestly, it wasn't the greatest deployment of hogs in the world, but it got the job done. And so what we've got here is that the raid's pretty much over because there's only a few point defenses, and I've got 3 Pekkas, a fully healed king, 3 bowlers, and this raid is pretty much this base is toast, and it's pretty much close to a max base. So those are the elements of the attack. So let's look at how a different raid goes here. I go on 6. And I'll show using giants. Now with giants again, here, using giants, what you're going to see here is I scouted this base. And again, I think giants worked better here, although maybe lean towards Pekkas because I was leaning towards giants because there's tons of trash buildings on the outside. And so I was leaning away from Pekkas for that reason, because I can trust that if I put the Giants down here on that mortar, they're going to go there. And then I have extra time to create the funnel. I'm looking for where the air sweepers are, and where the air defenses are. And I don't see any. I don't see, where are the air sweepers? Okay, there's the first air sweeper, which is pretty deep far into the base. And the second sweeper must be somewhere on the perimeter. I'm not sure where it is. So anyway, so we're attacking away from the air sweeper toward the clan castle, toward the side of the base where I'm going to run into the clan castle and the queen quickly, because I don't want those hanging out towards the end of the attack. So let's roll with it. So create the funnel here with the baby dragon. Put down the giants. And here, I can put down the giants. I know where they're going to go. I've got the baby dragons. And then I drop some wizards in support. I put in some wizards as sort of the supporting cast. And I wait longer. I'm waiting for the funnel to be created. And that's critical. You got to wait for those trash buildings to go down. Then I drop the bowlers, drop the rage, drop the poisons. And we're off and we're in business. Now, what I probably should have done here was should have sent some hogs on the left side of the base, because what you're going to see here is that the giants, there's the other air sweeper. The giants sort of go for a walk, which is annoying, and I should have accounted for that cannon. If I would have accounted for that cannon by taking it out with some hogs, it would have helped out the raid a lot. The raid just would have gone better. This raid is closer, kind of, than it should have been. So when you see a point defense by itself that's shooting at your troops, I should have, that was a miss. I should have taken that out sooner. So I'm starting to send my hogs in, basically trickling the hogs in throughout the raid. Again, some bad luck with, even though they basically just, all the hogs got killed. So, but you can see here that even though I made a lot of mistakes in this attack, it's still works out pretty well. I mean, I've got my queen dies, which sucks. But at this point, and here's the other thing. Hold back at least one wizard. I always hold back a wizard to the end of the raid. And the reason is that it's nice to have a wizard to help out your kill squad in shooting across walls, so that when there's point defenses shooting at your kill squad, you can see there I drop an extra wizard. Boom. There it goes. So even though this raid was a little bit closer than I would have liked, I've got a fully healed king at the end, and a bowler and a wizard. So there that goes. So these are just some tips, again, on how to do the HGHB attack that I hope can help everybody who's new to the attack. The attack, to be honest, it took me about 3 wars and several practices to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the attack. But overall, especially when you put Pekkas in the mix, I'd say Giants are a little more fragile, but Pekkas make this attack, if you can get the funneling down, Pekkas are pretty indestructible. So this is Pete the King signing off, and hopefully this helps you guys and my clans of German Khan, Cobra Kai do